All right, now we're into step 3 of the process of creating your works cited page. So now that I've basically downloaded that EasyBib Toolbar extension onto my Chrome. Step 2 was I've kind of set up my project. It's very important that you set up your project. So in this case, I have my NCAA research project here. Feel free sometimes it gets a little filled if you want to kind of clean things out. It's pretty easy to delete projects that maybe you don't need anymore, or it's just kind of clogging up your project. So here's my project. I'm doing my NCAA basketball research. So I have that set up. And then I have these two sources that I'm looking at. I've already punched one in just to kind of test it. So now I'm going to go to my second source. And again, to basically tag, that's what I'm referring to when we're tagging our sources. This is where we're kind of getting the information to EasyBib so that we can create a works cited page later on. I always recommend the very first thing to do, bookmark it. Always a good idea to bookmark it. You can create your own bookmarks. You can choose a folder. It wouldn't be a bad idea to create a folder for this project, just so you have those sources, just in case something goes wrong with EasyBib or it doesn't get saved correctly. It's a lot easier to access that if you've bookmarked it. So again, bookmark it, always a good idea. Then go ahead, click on the EasyBib toolbar. Again, making sure that, number one, I'm signed in. If you don't see your name there, clicking that refresh button to make sure that your name's popping up there. Also making sure that I have selected the project I want to tag my sources to. So making sure that that doesn't say new project, it's the project that you actually assigned. All right. So once we have that, then we're going to click Cite on EasyBib. Once the box pops up, then it's going to autofill. It might take a second because it's kind of checking the website for information to autofill. And even though it's really nice that it kind of does this for us, chances are there's still going to be a few things that it might miss. In fact, you'll notice right now it's blank, but now it pops in. So you do have to give it a minute or so to let it go. So a great example here is we have the information right here. So it's not a perfect system. So it's going to get a lot of the information, but it might leave some out. And it might put some things in the wrong place. So we still have to look through it to make sure that it's correct. So you'll notice right here, Matt Norland, and if I kind of keep my my source open here, Matt Norlander is the author. And notice how they've the system kind of put Matt in with his last name. So what we want to do is just go ahead and make that adjustment. So there's no middle name. If there is no information given, you just leave it blank. And then we have the website title. That's the name of the website, cbssports.com. So that's correct. And then we have the publisher sponsor. That is blank. Now, I always say there's always a publisher to something. So you have to find who the publisher is. Scrolling down to the bottom is usually the best. Now, I know some of these websites they have a lot of, I have to scroll down all the way to the bottom. And basically, you're looking for that copyright date. You'll notice here it says copyright 2004 to 2018. So CBS Interactive, that is the name of the publisher. So I'm going to go ahead and enter that in, Interactive, making sure I'm spelling it correctly, etc. URL, it's always going to put the URL in because that's a pretty easy grab for it. And then I want to double check the dates. Obviously, the date axis, that's today's date. So whenever you're looking at it. So that should be correct because it's pretty easy pull. If it's not correct, then just hit that today button and it'll refresh it. And then the other thing I'm going to do for the electronically published date is typically if there is one shown, it's going to show up kind of at the top next to where that author is. You'll notice right here, November 9th, 2017. Yep, that information is correct. If you don't see any dates up here, what you're going to do is use that publisher date. If you go all the way to the bottom, right here, it says 2004 to 2018. That I would use the latest date of that. So if it didn't show November 9th, 2017, I would put 2008. Sometimes it will just give you a month. Sometimes it'll just be a year. So you just leave the other items blank on that. So then once I have all the information double checked, that includes the article title on top, then I'm going to hit Create Citation. And then once I hit Create Citation, again, it'll take a couple seconds, so make sure you're patient. It's doing the work for you. Then it'll pop up the screen, basically your project screen. In the project screen, then you're going to see the kind of that main page where it has the project that you built. And then you're also going to see the citation kind of in there. So now right here, hooray, here's your new citation. Double check again, make sure that you're in the right project. So my NCAA basketball research project is there.